Hi, I'm Matt Baldwin, Regional Editor for Hagadone Media Montana. First off, a huge thank you for tuning into our podcast over the past year. Your support means the world to us, and it's inspired us to dive deeper into the world of podcasts. We've got some exciting updates to share with you. You might notice a fresh look and feel to our podcast lineup. We've revamped things a bit, breaking our shows into 4 distinct podcasts to make your listening experience even better. First up, Interlake News Now is simply News Now. Here you'll get Taylor's headlines, Melissa's local events, and all the timely news updates you need. Sports Now is now Keeping Score, where you can stay up to speed on local prep sports. Then there's Deep Dive. This podcast is all about exploring the stories of local people, businesses, and ideas. And if you missed last summer's Maritime Mystery series, don't worry, it's now the first season of Deep Dive. And of course, our monthly concert series, Press Play, now has its own podcast. Get ready for exclusive interviews with local musicians and all things Press Play. You can find links to all these new podcasts listed in the description of this episode, or simply search for Daily Interlake wherever you listen to podcasts. Once again, thank you for your incredible support. If you enjoy what you hear, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave us a review.
We're here at the Garden Bar in Big Fork. I'm with Miller Campbell. She's a Big Fork musician. She's moved here from LA. Is that right?
LA recently, but I'm from Northwest Washington.
Oh, okay. Yeah, perfect. So you have a really great sound. It's kind of country rock. You call it heartland rock. And you recently did an interview with Spin Magazine for your new song called All Night. But before we jump into the fun new music stuff, I kind of just wanted to talk to you about like the move and kind of what's been going on. So how long have you been in Big Fork?
I've been here, it'll be 7 years in November.
Oh, okay. So you didn't recently move here.
No, I'm definitely local. I've been here. I've paid my dues for sure.
Yeah. Gotcha. Well, cool. So tell me about that move and why
Big Fork? Yeah. Well, my family's from Montana. They're from Missoula and Deer Lodge. All my cousins are here. My family are homesteaders of Lima and Dillon area. And I came through Big Fork on tour about, I guess, exactly 7 years ago. And it was kind of near the end of my tour summer season. And I kind of can tour out of anywhere. So I was like, well, I'm just going to move to Montana in a month. So 30 days later, I broke my lease and moved out here and I never left.
Big Fork will do that to you.
Totally.
It is so cute here.
Yeah.
And it's such a welcoming little community. So very cool. So when you moved up here, did you find it was easy to kind of get into the community? And were you already doing music as like a career at that point?
Yes, I was already a full-time musician. It was definitely easy. People are really into music in Montana in general. Out of any state I've toured in, they genuinely love to go listen to music. So it's surprising how many venues just in our small town do music every night of the week. So
yeah,
it was easy to get in, but I had been doing it for a while. So
nice. Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about that. So how did you get into music in general?
I've always been musical. So I did plays and stuff growing up, and I really was into singing, and I really wanted to be an opera singer at one point as a child, which was a very different, specific dream. But it never occurred to me that being a musician was something you could do for a job. So I went to UW, University of Washington, got my degrees. And while I was in my last semester of college, I did karaoke at this really, rough dive bar in Seattle. And there was a band there, and they needed a singer. So they were like, oh, come play with us for the summer before you start, your big girl job.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that sounds like a fun summer gig. So I did that and never went to the adult work life instead. So I just kept going. I was like, wow, this is a great career.
That's such a fun way to get discover that you can do that. That's really cool.
Easy.
That's kind of like what I'm hoping happens to me every time I sing karaoke. I'm like, this is going to be it.
Looking for the scout.
Yeah. That's so funny. Okay, cool. So how old were you when that happened?
I was 21. I graduated college early, so I'd just been able to go to these bars and sing karaoke.
Yeah. So you started playing music with a band. How long did you hang out in the P&W?
I was there playing the circuit for about 3 years full time, and it was really great. It was super fun. And then just moved out here looking for something different, but I started to go back there every other month and keep playing. And I was there hustling all through Western Washington.
Wow, yeah. So was your sound kind of like the heartland rock sound that you have now, or was it different?
It was very different. I started off like in traditional country music, which was perfect for me to begin. I got to play a lot of rodeos and meet like so many people and play all these small communities and build my fan base very organically. And I think country music is really great for songwriters. Like the lyricism in it is really important to learn. But my sound is very different now. It's more, I call it heartland rock, but it's sort of that like Tom Petty, John Cougar Mellencamp type of rock sound that a lot of like middle America really seems to gravitate towards.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely, I'm kind of like from Kentucky, that like heartland area. So yeah, we know all about that kind
You're
of
like, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, it's a really great sound. I think it incorporates both like both elements of like country and rock in a way that's like, I don't know, just a little bit more dancey, a little bit more gritty. So at one point, did you start transitioning into a little bit more of a rock sound?
Well, this record particularly I've been working on for 2 years now, almost. So I met my co-writer, my collaborator, Matt Drenick, who is an amazing musician under the name Battle Me in Los Angeles. And we started just collaborating together, and I didn't have any sort of agenda on what I wanted it to sound like. It was, just kind of exploring, and it just naturally happened this way.
No. So you've been working on the record for 2 years. That's cool. What has that process been like?
Long.
Yeah.
It's been long, but it's been great. I mean, I've never gotten to dive into every aspect of a record like this one. And I'm really, I'm so fortunate to have found Matt and that he wanted to do this record with me. And he brought in his favorite people and musicians to work with us at the studio, who are now in my live band. So it's been just an incredible process. And every step of the record has been just a complete collaboration with everyone. So it's very different than what I've done, but it's been my favorite experience.
Very collaborative, it sounds like.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, one thing I noticed when listening to your songs is like it's very personal. It seems like you're drawing from a lot of personal stuff in life. What is this new record inspired by?
This new record is inspired. It definitely is a journey. We took a lot of experiences between the two of us, Matt and I, because we co-write all the songs. There's heartbreak in it. There's, trials of being a performer and tour life and the grind and hustling. And it's really a whole spectrum of things that we've gone through. So it's hard to pinpoint an exact thing. It's not like one moment in my life, but it's definitely a reflection over the last 5 years at least.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting last 5 years. I always think of the pandemic.
Totally.
Because that's about 5 years away now, I guess. Probably, yeah, it is. I always think of 2020 not counting because it's like a 0 year.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But yeah, very cool. So you've had 3 singles come out recently: All Night, Little Things, and Self-Medicated.
Yes.
Which one's the newest?
Self-Medicated. That came out just about a week ago. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, could you just tell me a little bit more about that song in particular?
Self-Medicated is probably the most different song on the record. It's very influenced by like Dido, if you know who that is, like very 90s rock styling. The lyricism in it is some of my favorite storytelling that we did on the record. We really went into the poetry of everything. And it has just these soaring choruses. We experimented with a lot of musical elements and then brought the live players in as well to collaborate on it. So it really is a very introspective song about battling demons and toxic relationships and things like that.
Yeah. I'm just curious because I've listened to it, obviously before this. Is that like a metaphor or is it like literal? Because when I was listening to it, I was like, self-medication is like, you could talk about it in a few ways. And in terms of a relationship or correct me if I'm wrong, taking yourself out of a relationship you don't need to be in anymore. It could be kind of like self-medication. Is that?
Totally. It's meant to be fairly ambiguous. It could be relationship. It could be addiction. It could be whatever your own perspective in it. I wanted people to be able to listen to the song and have some sort of reflection on whatever their maybe dark medication is in that sense.
Yeah, totally. So I noticed that up until this point you've done singles, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So this is going to be your first album.
Yes, it'll be my first full-length album. So I'm going to release a few more singles and then part A of the record and then some more singles in part B, and then everyone will get to hear the full album with all the extra songs. So
Okay, cool.
yeah.
So we got 3 songs out so far. What's the next one you're most excited about that you can kind of give us a little preview?
The next song comes out October 25th. It's called Hotel New Wave. I'm so excited about it. It's very fun. It's upbeat. It's Bengals inspired, who are like heroes of mine. So I cannot wait for the song to come out. It's one of my favorite to perform live with the band, for sure.
Oh, I love the Bengals.
Yeah.
I was going to ask another one that you really like performing right now. Would that be the one or?
Yeah, that's definitely probably top 5.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So what's next for you?
Next, at the end of this fall, I'm doing my first European tour, which I cannot wait. I've never played overseas. I got invited to open up for this incredible band called Young Guns Silver Fox, who are a London-based band. So we're heading London, all through the Netherlands, back to London this fall. And then the record is releasing songs every 5 weeks, and then part A of the record comes out in early December. So
That's it.
I'm so excited. We're going to press our first records, vinyl records, so it's going to be really cool.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's so, I love that that's back, and like
I know.
you can expect to get a vinyl now when something comes out. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So how did you actually, a little side jump off of that, how did you get the opportunity to print vinyl? Is that
It's just
unique?
sort of like,
or?
kind of. It's more of like an investment and just knowing the timing of when people would be interested in collecting some of your stuff. And I feel like the band has grown to that point where that makes sense to invest in something like that. And it's a fantastic way to hear the music. It's so like original, and unfortunately cars don't have CD players anymore. Otherwise I'd sell those too. But
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. You don't even have the option anymore for a CD. Well, cool, Miller. Well, thanks so much for joining me today. We're so excited to have you for Press Play, and that's going to be the first Friday in October at the Daily Interlake office.
yeah, I'm excited. It's very fun.